Lord Baden Powell was a British Army officer, writer, and founder of the Scout movement. He is known for his book Scouting for Boys, which inspired the worldwide Scout movement. Lord Baden Powell's ideas and beliefs about scouting, leadership, and character development have had a lasting impact on youth development and education. Lord Baden Powell's quotes have become controversial because some of his views and actions are considered outdated or even offensive by modern standards. For example, his ideas about gender roles and sexuality may be seen as sexist or discriminatory. Additionally, there have been allegations of Lord Baden Powell's association with fascist and extremist groups, which has further contributed to the controversy surrounding his legacy. It is important for people to be aware of Lord Baden Powell's controversial quotes and actions in order to have a full understanding of his legacy and impact on society. By acknowledging and addressing the problematic aspects of his beliefs and actions, we can work towards creating a more inclusive and equitable society that upholds the values of respect, equality, and justice for all and joy. The Scoutmaster teaches boys to play the game by doing so himself. A scout is not a soldier, but he wears a soldier's uniform because it symbolizes his love of his country and his willingness to serve. The duty of a scout is to obey his scoutmaster and his parents. A scout is never taken by surprise. He knows exactly what to do when anything unexpected happens. A scout is clean in thought, word, and deed. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. The Scout movement is a game with a purpose. The Scout oath and law are the foundation of the Scout movement. A scout is always prepared to face danger. The Scout uniform is a symbol of the Scout's pride and honor. Scouts should always be prepared to defend their country. The Scout oath and law teach boys to be good citizens. Scouting is a way of life, not just a weekend activity. A scout should always respect the beliefs of others. Scouts should always be respectful and obedient to authority. A scout should always strive to be self-reliant and independent. Scouts should always be willing to help others in need. A scout should always be honest and truthful in all his dealings. Scouts should always be polite and courteous to others. A scout should always be kind and considerate to others. Scouts should always be obedient to their parents and teachers. A scout should always be loyal to his friends and family. Scouts should always be trustworthy and reliable. A scout should always be brave and courageous in the face of danger. Scouts should always be clean in their thoughts and actions. A scout should always be reverent and respectful towards God. Scouts should always be thrifty and frugal in their spending. A scout should always be cheerful and optimistic. Scouts should always be friendly and outgoing towards others. A scout should always be physically fit and healthy. Scouts should always be mentally alert and sharp. A scout should always be spiritually strong and grounded. Scouts should always be emotionally stable and balanced. A scout should always be socially responsible and engaged. Scouts should always be environmentally conscious and active. A scout should always be culturally aware and respectful. Scouts should always be economically savvy and productive. A scout should always be politically engaged and informed. Scouts should always be technologically competent and innovative. A scout should always be academically motivated and curious. Scouts should always be artistically expressive and creative. A scout should always be philosophically reflective and critical. Scouts should always be historically informed and appreciative. A scout should always be scientifically curious and explorative. Scouts should always be mathematically proficient and analytical. A scout should always be linguistically skilled and communicative. Scouts should always be socially just and equitable. A scout should always be morally principled and ethical. A scout should always be culturally diverse and inclusive. Scouts should always be globally aware and engaged. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like our video. Please share your opinion in the comments column.